Don't everybody start.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Bill Edinger. Here. Lloyd Ewings.
Here.
Misty Edinger.
Here.
Amy Beers.
Here.
Matt Vaughn.
Absent.
We'll open up to public comments.
Chuck
Oh,
Abraham bought that for you guys.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And
gavel.
there's $60 that we raised at the store.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. That's all.
I have an additional $20 here from Sue Dean. Mary Dean.
Make sure you put that right.
I know. She corrects me.
Yeah.
I motion the reading of the minutes. Meeting minutes from 6/23/2016.
6/23/2016, location Highland Sportsman's Club, 1900 hours. Roll call of Commissioners: Amy Beers present, Misty Edinger present, William Edinger present, John Gurris present, Lloyd Hillings present, Matt Vaughn present, and vacancy. Public comment period was opened by Chairperson John Gurris. Donation of $30 was received by Mary Dean. Minutes from June 2nd were read by Misty Edinger. Misty Edinger made motion to accept the minutes as read. Amy Beers seconded. Commissioners voted 6 yes, 0 no. Motion passed. Treasurer's report. General fund, $99.75. $50 from donations, $49.75 from candy fundraiser. Misty Edinger made motion to reimburse township $80 for advertising expenses. Bill Edinger seconded. Commissioners voted 6 yes, 0 no. Motion passed. Agenda. John Gurris made motion to accept the agenda. Matt Vaughn seconded. Commissioners voted 6 yes, 0 no. Reminders and announcements. John Gurris stated that all home rule study communications are public and discoverable. The HRC will follow Robert's Rules of Order for conduct of meetings. Old business study questions were discussed and reviewed. More study time is needed at this time. Misty Edinger requests commissioners to write their studies down and give them to her so she can compile them all together before the next meeting. Study commissioners agreed. At the Second Class Township Code does not appear to be working in Highland Township. An example timeline of important dates were passed around with the target date of the November election. Misty stressed that this was just one scenario that the study commission is to choose from. Bill Edinger asked if the Home Rule Study Commission is on schedule. Misty believes that if we stay on task, having a home rule charter written by November is doable. However, there's a lot of work that needs done in a little bit of time. New business. Public hearing dates were discussed along with future meeting dates. Misty Edinger made motion to have studies consolidated before the public hearing dates are set. John Gurris seconded. Misty made motion for the next meeting dates, times, and locations to be as followed. July 21st, 1900 hours, Municipal Building in James City. August 4th, 1900 hours, Snow Seekers in Highland. August 18th, 1900 hours, the Highland Sportsman's Club in Rossa City. August 30th, 1900 hours, Municipal Building in James City. Lloyd Hewling seconded motion. Commissioners voted 6 yes, 0 no. Motion passed. John Gurris will have Township Secretary advertise. Vacancy on the board was discussed. William Geibel was unable to take the open commissioner position at this time. Misty Edinger made motion to advertise for letters of interest due by July 11th and have the vote on the vacancy on July 21st. Bill Edinger seconded. Commissioners voted 6 yes, 0 no. Public newsletter was discussed. Handing them out door to door was discussed along with public surveys. Misty Edinger and John Gurris will do some of this. Misty asked for volunteers for an information booth at the car show on July 2nd, 2016. Stacy Long from Grant Township is available for a conference call on July 21st. Final public comment period. Concerns about the rumors of the township shutting down Highlands Fire Department and the cost of contracting fire protection in Highland were raised by the public. These concerns were noted by the Home Rule Study Commission and will be reviewed if a Home Rule Study Charter is written. With no other Immediate business on the table, John Gurris made motion to adjourn, Misty Edinger seconded, commissioners voted 6 yes, 0 no, motion carried.
All right, I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I second the motion.
Any opposed?
The agenda or the minutes, I'm sorry.
Minute. Oh, the meeting, the minutes first?
Okay, is that what you made a motion for? I missed it.
Yes.
I think I said the minutes first. and then-
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now you can do the
All
agenda.
right, I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All right, some reminders, all communications are public and the meeting conduct will be the Roberts rules. Now I make a motion to go over old business.
The first thing in old business, we consolidated the individual studies. I can read the thing if you want me to. Everybody has a copy of them here.
Yes.
Our first question, we had 9 questions, I believe. Our first question was, how could the second-class township form of government be strengthened or made more clearly responsible or accountable to our people? The government in Highland Township can be strengthened by voters making decisions collectively and living with the results of those decisions collectively instead of the minority making decisions for the majority. The second-class township form of government could be strengthened by affording the citizens of Highland Township more substantial role in the governing of local matters through allowing citizen votes to determine whether or not to accept an ordinance or decisions made on local matters. Allowing the very citizens of Highland Township to make decisions through a majority vote, not a legislator or supervisor having final say. In the recent case of the vacancy on the Board of Supervisors, an Elk County judge decided who would fill his vacancy. The judge does not live in Highland Township and therefore does not have to live with the consequences of his decision. While the township was optimistic that the court would appoint people who would look out for the best interests of the townships, the actions these court-appointed individuals take have the potential to be long-lasting and not in the direction desired by Highland Township voters. The Commission is aware that elected officials can be subject to the same flaws as these appointed officials, but it believes that the township residents, rather than the court, should have the opportunity to vet and decide upon members of their governing body. One of the consequences being newly appointed supervisors seemingly being driven by personal vendetta and the agenda effectively dividing our township, in many cases pitting neighbor against neighbor. Another consequence of the minority making decisions for the majority is the recent petition that was given to the supervisors at their meeting and keeping the injection well ordinance in place. One supervisor was quoted as, "We will do what we, the Board of Supervisors, think is best." Want to read number 2 so I can catch my breath?
Okay, second question, how could the second-class township form of government become more economical and efficient under a changed form of government? A home rule charter could provide organizational flexibility that would free the township from requirements for second-class townships in Pennsylvania. It can also offer potential to solve budget problems and lessen the dependence on property tax increases by controlling costs better. It can be more efficient by implementing helpful crisis prevention measures and eliminate protections for political minority representation. Economically, the second-class township could be strengthened through greater citizen involvement by vote or petition in an accountable way, such as setting tax limitations, obtaining greater transparency. We could, for example, lower the amount at which a contract or purchase has to be made public or bids published in the newspaper.
In what way does the second-class township code differ from other governing documents, such as the Declaration of Independence, the Pennsylvania Constitution, and the U.S. Constitution? The second-class township code gives big industry rights over people, where the Declaration of Independence both the constitutions were for the people, by the people. This is what the country was built on and gives the rights back to the people. The U.S. Constitution and Declaration of Independence says that all men are created equal and have that's a great big word that I don't...
Unalienable.
Okay, rights. Along these life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That was one of JP's big words. That has to secure these rights. Governments are instituted by men, and whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it's the right of the people to alter or abolish it and institute new government. The Declaration mandates that representative government must respond to efforts to protect human rights. Government by consent of the people. The Declaration and the U.S. Constitution make it clear that the ultimate decision of how to best protect our rights remains secured in the people. The people can go as far as abolishing a government that is not responsive to it and institute a new one for its safety and happiness. The Second Class Township Code is least responsive to its citizens, and it favors the rights of companies over the rights of people.
Do the next one.
Okay.
Does the code provide for the needs and desires of the community and best represent the principles of a democratic society? No. There are many areas that are not working for our small rural township. There is little to no flexibility in the current code, and there are protections in place for political minority representation. There are also protections in place that secure the rights of corporations and big bank account holders that are not in the best interest of the landowners and the residents of Highland. The Second Class Township Code and Dillon's Rule is the exact opposite of a democratic society, as it disallows citizens to put citizen input, and citizen health and safety are not always a priority.
Who wrote the code and what were the priorities they had in mind as they wrote various sections? State legislator wrote the code for the purpose to authorize a board of supervisors to make and adopt ordinances, bylaws, rules, and regulations that were deemed necessary for proper management and control of townships in order to maintain sound government and protect the safety and welfare of its citizens. However, this code was written in 1933, and many of today's issues are not addressed in the code, and if the code does not specifically address an issue, it's considered beyond the control of the Township Board of Supervisors. The Second Class Township Code is generic and one size fits all.
Does the code allow for decisions to be made on issues that are unique to Highland Township? This code was largely written in 1933, and many of today's issues are not addressed in the code. And if the code does not specifically address an issue, it is considered beyond the scope of the Township Board of Supervisors, therefore allowing decisions to be made by people who do not have to live with the consequences of their decisions.
The township's relationship between the state and What's the relationship between the state and Highland Township outlined in the code? The state has control of most things and does not provide flexibility needed to make sound decisions for the people of Highland Township. Being governed by laws developed by generic laws does not work for very ungeneric issues.
What's the relationship of the code to the rights of those living in Highland Township? The code does not provide protection of the rights of those living in Highland Township. Big bank account holders in corporate America have more rights than the taxpayers of Highland Township.
Does the code give Highland Township residents the tools they need to determine the future of Highland Township? No. Our world is changing at a rapid pace, and the code allows industry rights to supersede human rights, therefore endangering the health and welfare of the citizens of Highland Township. In this stripping Highland Township the ability to voice their concerns and the flexibility to enforce laws and ordinances to protect their lives and property. These codes are generic. Our laws need to be personalized to the needs issues of Highland Township to be effective. Our current government has gotten very reckless, and we believe that the current decision-making is endangering all of Highland Township residents, along with those who live around Highland Township. We believe our rights, health, well-being, and safety are not a priority in Highland Township any longer.
Conclusion. The HTGSC has put a great deal of effort into studying the various forms of government that could be available to the residents of Highland Township. It believes that the development of a home rule charter can address growth of the township and the concerns of its residents. Home rule provides more flexibility to tailor the structure of the government to the needs of its residents than any other form of government in Pennsylvania. Over the coming months, the Commission will study each of the comments and concerns expressed to it by township residents and attempt to develop a governmental structure that provides for the townships and its citizens' needs and operates in the most effective manner practical, while still giving the governed body authority and flexibility it needs to make the operational decisions set before it. Residents are encouraged to attend commission meetings and further forums. Residents may also address commission members via email.
Does everybody agree? This is
Yeah.
how we all feel. Is there anything in there that you disagree with?
No.
This is pretty much coming from everything that everybody wrote
Yeah,
down.
what
and
this
turned in.
is I collected everybody's thoughts and notes for the last week, and I just put them all together. Tried to make them, make sense, kind of bounce off each other. A lot of them did, even though we did our, these questions separately, we did mirror a lot of answers together. It was quite amazing how, 6 people can say the same thing 6 different ways.
Right.
So this is what I had taken. If anything's in there that we don't agree with, or is that the thoughts of everybody?
No, I think that covers it.
Okay. So do we want to do so this is no longer a draft. Okay. Part of this will be in our final report at the end. There's a section in our final report that will include all of these questions as part of our study.
There are copies sitting up there for people that do want them.
So, what's it? Oh, go ahead.
I have a question. Now, this is great what you've done. Is this going to be an article in the newspaper or somehow to get out the public that aren't showing up?
What we do is later on in our meeting, on our agenda here, we have our public hearing. At our public hearing, we will have a slideshow presentation. We'll have to decide on who's going to do that kind of stuff. And this will be part of that study that we hand out at that public forum, so everybody will have a copy of it.
Well, I'm getting at now, this is great questions, great answers. Would this stimulate other people, other residents of Highland Township to attend meetings if this is published?
Like in a mailing?
Ahead of time, so that they see this, rather than waiting until a hearing.
Right. I think we should maybe include it in our mailing.
Okay. I think it's great what you've got there, and I just think that people need to see this rather than waiting till a hearing date. Maybe an article could be done about it.
Okay.
It's amazing the people that do read the paper, especially when they start seeing, when there's information pertaining to them, then they follow quite a bit.
Then they get out,
So I
right?
think that might help with our, future communications rather than waiting until a hearing. But that's, up to you guys.
I 100% agree, Tim. I think that is the thing to do, is for people to read it and spread the word.
Yeah, later we're supposed to be talking about how we might advertise for that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that could be included in that. I'm not sure. I'm talking about that.
It just may draw more people to these meetings prior to,
Right.
I can send that to Chuck.
Excuse me?
Send that to Chuck.
Okay. Sounds good.
So this is amazing. I've made contact. People have talked not to me, to my boy about things they've seen in the paper. And so it does get around.
Do we think that more study is needed? I would like if the commission would actually talk to our supervisors, try to set up and see maybe, the supervisors, who better would know if Highland Township government's actually working or not than the supervisors. And I think it would be a great idea for the study commission to maybe try to set up a work session or an interview session with our current Highland Township supervisors.
Individually or this is the group?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I could try to set that up. When would you want to do that?
Probably as soon as possible, but I'd also like to make that a public.
Oh, okay.
What's our next meeting?
Our next meeting would be here on July 21st, but I don't think that would be a good time to do it because we have Grant Township on conference call. So maybe if we can set it up somewhere in between them and a time that's good for both of us.
Yeah.
Anybody have any?
Didn't the last township meeting said that they're open, they're available anytime? What they pretty much told the public and the water authority and the fire department,
Well,
they're
hold-
available anytime they need them?
Well,
Why can't we just take it to the township meeting? That'd be,
we can ask them at the township meeting, I think.
that would be the same as, under their public comment.
Yeah.
Because they can limit us to 3 minutes there.
Now,
That's
I mean,
3
question,
minutes
if
for you.
ask them to do this, is this gonna be a special meeting on their part? The township is gonna have to pay them to attend the meeting?
That's what they're gonna.
I think so.
request.
I think that would be good.
Well, I'm just, just putting it out there, so.
Well, that'd be 3 minutes for every one of us, right?
A special meeting, it'd probably be open more than that to us.
Yeah, but if they have a special meeting, they
If it
have
was
to be
just for
paid
that.
for it.
Well,
But your
it would be
special
our
meeting's
special
not
meeting, it wouldn't be the
supervisors.
township's. It'd be our special meeting,
Yeah, it would be our special meeting that they're asked to
so they
attend.
wouldn't get paid for it.
I don't think any one of them would show, well, I think Jim would show up, but I don't think Mike or Glenn would.
Well, that's okay. We can still invite them.
And make it public noted at the township meeting that that we would like them there. And if they don't show up, bring it up at the next township meeting about,
That's 2 months away though, if we
yeah,
go to
I
a
know.
second.
I think if their next meeting is when, the 13th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
next Wednesday.
I think we should call them out on their own turf. We're allowed 3 minutes apiece.
They start at 7 as well.
Yes.
I think
I
if
wonder
we
if
did it,
could get
We can
to
ask
come
them
in.
if they want to attend our meeting, if not, then they can ask us.
I think we should
Few
try to get like a
simple
special
questions.
meeting. I think it would be more organized and more civil than a township meeting, because I haven't been to a township meeting in a long time that has been a civil environment. And you can't learn from somebody when the
Right.
emotions are high and that kind of stuff. So I think if we try to make it into a civil environment and not at one of their business meetings, but something, like a special meeting of the Home Rule Study Commission with the township supervisors, I think it would be more productive.
Will we be able to suggest maybe possibly that same day, maybe at 6? Is
That
it the
wouldn't
same
work.
day? No.
Cause I wouldn't be there.
Oh, okay.
don't
I
get
think
out
our
of work
meetings should
till-
always be at 7,
Yeah.
because I think it's more effective for everybody.
Maybe you're on the right path, maybe you need to just invite them to come to the meeting, but I'm just, stating, it so it's not a special meeting, so the township has to pay them to attend. And you're right by calling them out to come to the meeting, they may not show up anyways.
Right. I think we should have a special meeting and they can attend it.
Right.
What day would
Sounds
we
good.
want it, like July 14th or?
You have to give them enough time.
Yeah.
You have to give them
Time.
3 days,
Yeah.
because we have to advertise.
Right.
So it'd be like
The 19th.
on the 18th or the 19th.
July 18th or 19th?
Don't be surprised if I don't show up.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
So in our advertisement, we can add that we are inviting the 3 supervisors for their,
I think we should invite them first on the 13th at their meeting. Try to set it up at the 13th on their meeting for the 18th or 19th. And then that will give us time. We can advertise for it on the 14th.
Ooh, we just want supervisors or everybody?
We'd
in
like
government?
supervisors, and it's open to the public.
Right. I mean, as far as like the secretary and
Yes.
the other.
might as well interview the
government.
secretary
Yeah,
Because
too,
that's,
she's the one
they're
who
all the
handles the money.
government, yeah.
Yep, we're
Yeah,
all there.
because the reason why I think this would be a good idea, I've seen it, I've been doing a lot of research when I was doing these questions, and that's what a lot of other home rule study commissions have done. Who better to know how to or how things are working in Highland than our actual current supervisors? And they would be able to tell us what the problems, the problems that are brought to them are, and the steps that they're trying to take to fix that.
So what day would we want it, the 18th or July or 19th?
I think we should give them both dates
Okay.
and see what's better for them.
Are you planning on making a questionnaire up for them, or like the one that you guys just completed?
I'm gonna have like the same kind of thing like I had this time. And I'm sure SALDEF will help us put it together. you know, the kind of questions that we should be asking. What it will be is, you know, just a set of 8 or 9 questions that we're going to ask. And then we'll have that as part of our final study also.
Are you gonna have these questions on the 13th to give them? Okay, I'm just asking.
It'll be on the 18th or 19th, whatever date that they wish to choose.
I can even ask Chuck Abraham. He's really good at interviewing to help.
All right.
And that might cause other questions from the public. If you say a question, that might click with some other things that they might want to ask too.
Right.
And that is a good point, when you have a mediator, so to
Yeah.
speak, then it's not a.
If you can do it, would you do it?
What? Probably.
So would I then
I'm sure
It
it would.
depends.
just bring up
Yeah,
invitations
sure.
to them, to
I
this
think-
office?
I think
for
what we'll do
the
is,
supervisors?
I think maybe the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to just at their township meeting on this 13th,
Okay.
just, we would like to invite you, and we have these 2 days available. Which day are you available?
Okay.
As our job, we need to understand your job.
Yes,
Yeah.
Not just, would you please come to our meeting and hang out?
right,
Because they ain't gonna.
right. As our job, we need
Yeah.
to do our jobs, we need to understand, you know, the day-to-day process in doing your job. No, I'm good.
And I'm sure that they would be willing to, because I've been told by numerous people that they do care about the community and they want the best for Highland Township, so hopefully they'll do their input and show their support for the community.
Plus, if they really cared, then why haven't they been to any meeting except one supervisor?
Well,
They're
'cause
represented by
They're
Zelda.
probably busy doing.
they've never, maybe they've never been personally invited. Maybe that's what they need.
So I make a motion, we do that on the 13th. We invite them, and in
I'll
the
second.
meantime,
I'll second that motion.
And we'll talk to Chad and get
Yeah.
some questions, and I'll talk to
Chuck. Any opposed?
Do you think they would make us have to fill out a rights to know just to ask them questions?
Maybe, we'll see.
Most of the time, that's our answer to everything. You ask
So-
a question, that's their answer.
Is more study needed? I definitely think that we're getting to the end of our studies. We still have a few more things that I think we should do. Our public hearing, you know, to try to get more feedback, and our interview with the Highland Township Board of Supervisors. I think after that, I'm satisfied with the amount of study that we've put in. I think this, from everybody, is amazing. I was impressed when I was typing it. Do we agree that
I agree.
I'm sorry, go.
Yeah, I agree that that would be, I mean, what we have here could be our report and then with the interview with the township. That would, we should have enough information then.
Mm-hmm. To be able to
move
get
ahead.
the,
Yeah.
yep, I agree.
I agree with that one, too.
I agree.
Me too.
Okay. So we also want to discuss a plan for a public hearing now.
Do you have your timeline that you printed out last time?
Probably.
I got that.
Okay, grab that one. Oh, never mind, I still have it.
Oh, good. Last time we discussed maybe a public hearing on the 31st,
It's on a Sunday.
which is a Sunday.
I just keep that date for right now, table it until we find out about the supervisors.
We
if
can't table, we have to make
Yeah.
a decision.
Okay,
Because we
then
have to advertise for that.
I say yes, then.
I'd say go for it.
Okay, so we'll do our public hearing on the
31st.
31st. Okay, the purpose of this public hearing is to answer any questions we'll have from the public, to write down their concerns, get some serious feedback. I think, Amy, if you want to help, you and I can put a slideshow PowerPoint presentation together.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at PowerPoint. I
Me
think
too.
you probably are too.
Mhm.
We have the program on the laptop,
All right.
so we can just
Oh, we can have fun with that.
we can have fun with the
Yeah.
PowerPoint presentation. So Amy and I will put up a PowerPoint presentation, and we can go through that before we actually have the meeting. Because our public hearing, because our next meeting,
Is the 4th of August.
no, it's 21st. Because we're
Oh,
finalizing
alright.
hearing plans there. So hopefully by the 21st, Amy and I will at least have a rough draft of the PowerPoint presentation that we can give out to the public. Does anybody have access to a
Screen.
screen and a record in the projector?
Not the screen, because I have Town storing it for me. I don't know
Okay.
about projector.
I don't know about projector either. I don't know of anybody that has one of them.
Yeah, I don't know either. If we can ask around to see if anybody has access to a projector.
Let me see if
Or
I
a
can
large
borrow.
television, a large flat screen TV.
Excuse me?
A large flat screen TV would work too.
We can hook up a computer to a flat screen.
Most flat screens, yes.
Let me check with my IT department at work.
Oh.
I might be able to find a projector.
My son Mark's got the connection that goes from his laptop to a TV, and we've got a 48-inch TV that it hooks up to. So I could bring the 48-inch TV and his laptop, and we can run it off his laptop.
Does his laptop have PowerPoint?
Oh, I don't know about that. But
Well-
I'm sure if you probably put a
I could probably hook it up to my laptop.
Yeah, if you have
Okay.
a cord, that's all you need.
Because I have
Yeah.
we have the PowerPoint presentation, software.
yeah,
Okay.
you can run it off that.
Okay, if Amy can't get a hold of the projector, because that'd be a lot easier than
Yeah.
bringing up the TV.
Okay.
If she can't get a hold of the projector, then our plan B will
Okay.
be your TV.
I'll check with IT tomorrow.
Does the Friends Memorial have a projector? Library in Kelly?
That'll be the first thing that pops up. And I'll run some things by you too that I have that you might want to put in the PowerPoint.
Perfect. Yeah, anything. So, Amy and I will do that PowerPoint presentation. John Paul, if you want to be the one to introduce us to our MC
Okay.
kind of thing, that is okay.
Yep. Sounds good.
Get
Okay,
together next week for it.
sounds good.
Get that together. Well,
Now,
today.
for advertising, how are we going to advertise for that? I mean, we could do mailers. What's our budget? For the.
Our budget for mailers, I have that here. I know I have a budget here.
You'll have to do a legal notice for that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I would suggest you guys with maybe an article in the paper.
Yeah.
That's gonna get the most attention, more than legal ad will.
Maybe I gave away all my copies of my budget.
I know I didn't bring that with me.
I have. All I have to do is turn on the computer.
So is that what we're going to do? Is go through the newspaper or?
I think we should also do mailings.
It's my man purse.
I've seen at Marcia that you had that swing set,
Yeah.
and that you put that
Sign,
big
yeah.
sign on there. You're just gonna transfer use it for next year as well, or?
Yeah, so anytime we need it for anything, we've got it.
Oh, good.
A lot of times the Canadian Republican will print
Man, my battery's dead.
an article, if somebody writes it up and sends it to them, and it's in the form of a news, they'll print that for nothing. I mean, 'cause a lot of
Okay.
times they're the news guys don't get out. But they enjoy people writing articles that actually
Yeah,
would be
well, it lasts for
considered
2
news.
hours and I'm on it for
Written
like
up like that.
3 weeks
Right.
straight.
Like
No, I'm gonna
like
weed
kind of
over
letter to
there.
editor type of thing.
Not necessarily, like news,
Article.
hey, you know, this is, you know, we had our meeting, this is what's gonna happen.
You need over here? Okay.
Another
Another
thing is, I've checked out direct mail, and for less than $25, I believe, don't quote me on that, but what they quoted me for less than $25, you can get a one piece of paper put in everybody in James City. Now, the rest of Highland Township's not that easy, but we can do James City.
Okay.
Okay.
Around 25, that's not bad. And then, Marcia, you were saying that you were gonna go out in the Highland
Yeah, I was
area?
gonna see if you wanted to go with this weekend, be okay, every day you're available. And we can get the newsletter and whatever else you got.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I was gonna get it out by going door to door in the Highland.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if we could do the responses the same way of the questions that we had. We sent it in like an article form to,
You can't guarantee it, but you can try,
Yeah.
give it a try.
yeah, try that.
Can somebody do the theme for Jeopardy?
I know, I'm sorry.
I don't know what it's like.
Nora, we're waiting on Misty
Package
saying.
still need to get
There, I got it.
the draft, this?
Yep.
I pulled up.
How about
Excel
that?
and
Do I need
changed
that?
the word and I couldn't
That's
find
just
it
the
in the
agenda for
chat.
tonight.
Okay, this is all. Thank you.
You need that? Invitation to public hearings mailings to township residents, postage labels, and printing our budget $500.
I'm sorry, Misty, I didn't hear that.
The home rules, commission, study commission, the budget for invitation to public hearings, mailings to township residents, postage labels, printing, etc. is $500. Amy, do you remember how much it cost the fire department
For envelopes,
for?
it was like
264, I think,
Something like that.
265 for the envelopes,
for
for a box of them.
how much was in a box? 250?
I think there was either 250 or 300 envelopes in a box, in a case.
So as long as we keep it down to 2 mailings, we can stay within our budget.
And we keep that to registered voters.
That would be a little bit.
Yeah, because we don't have to do the labels because I've already have the registered voter.
Okay.
I think we should keep it to registered voters.
Yeah.
Also on the 21st, we can get some ideas from the Grant Township on their call to us.
Yeah, and how they did and what.
Right. Exactly how they did it.
Did we go through a whole box down there?
No,
Then we should only need one box for this because
correct.
we did all the landowners
Right.
down there.
The fire department did landowners
Right.
and all we need to do
We're
is
just
registered
doing
voters.
and
Right.
should be minimal.
Yeah.
Question about, you know, you're talking about envelopes and they're already prepaid postage, right?
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
What, I mean, if you're sending out an invitation, is it a one-page deal? Can it be a tri-fold where you fold them in?
Yeah, we can.
You know, I mean, to save the cost, I don't know what, you know.
Well, it's what we're talking about, the mailings. It's what in a 4 by 11 envelope. It's it's already stamped,
Right,
everything. So we can stuff as much in there that we can fit in 47 cents. Well, we don't
It was
need.
just a question, I didn't know what you're sending out, and if there's a cheaper way of doing it, that was all.
So this will be sent out in it along with the regular newsletter.
You've got about 5 pages you can do.
So we'll just mess with the font
Yeah.
to get this smaller. I made it
You
great
can
big.
put
What's that, like 16
two-sided
or?
even.
news.
It's big.
So
they knew I
we're
was gonna have
looking
to-
at needing almost $500 to.
That'd be for 2 mailings.
That'd be for two
Right,
separate
two
mailings. $500 for almost two separate mailings.
Which would be for public hearings, if we had a second one.
Oh, okay.
You were busy when I made this comment, but I was been checking on direct mail. Anybody can mail a one-page flyer to addresses. You don't even have to be addressed. Like, for an example, James City to put one in everybody's mailbox would be less than $25. But the rest of Highland Township, it's hard because it's mixed up with Kane. It's Kane zip code, and to do it in Highland, you have to send it to both Kane.
So we can do that $25 option
Out here.
in James City and just do the outside.
We're pretty young also?
No.
Does the young,
We don't have a post office anymore.
well, I know, but you get the boxes, I didn't know if everybody went to the box.
Tom, when they say
Pretty
flyers,
I didn't know if everybody had individual mailboxes.
No, we don't have individual. We have a cluster box in the store parking lot.
Well, that's what I'm saying, so would that fit into that, Tom?
No,
Okay.
because the route, it's with the routes, and it's just like Kane, like the route 66 is tied up with the route 6, and the route goes from
Okay.
there all the way up into Kane, and you have to do it by route.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
but the same thing with those,
But the young's a different zip code.
correct, with,
No, we have a Kane zip code now. They
Oh,
made a
changed it?
switch.
Okay, all right.
but there's some down there that has a different zip code.
Well, because they haven't switched.
Yeah, okay.
They're supposed to. They ever move their mail's not going to get to them.
All right.
now, Tom, the flyers, you say, is that just normal 8x11 sheet, or could that be a,
No, I think
bigger
it can be
sheet?
bigger than that.
And it could-
There's restrictions on it, but I believe it can be bigger than that.
okay,
Can you check on those restrictions for us? Cause
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
because you probably print on both sides too as well.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, there's specific sizes, and it has to be heavy, a little heavier than paper, but they have different sizes. I mean, they have, it could be bigger than 8.5 by 11.
okay. Yeah, 'cause we'll do that and see how much it would cost us to do an envelope to everybody versus how much it would cost.
That comes out, I think it's like less than 16 cents a piece,
Okay,
for the box. It's really cheap.
right. Yeah, it is.
I was gonna say, I
We
get a
could take 'em.
mailer usually every week or every other week from something that, and it's just, a resident and the post office box number and like that.
Yeah.
Just fold over and taped, and
Yeah, I get those too a lot.
Hmm.
so that's probably what you're talking
Well,
about.
it doesn't
Yeah.
even have to have that, because you deliver them to the post office, and he puts them in every box. It doesn't even have to have an address on it.
Has
Yeah.
anybody talked to Matt about this?
No,
though?
but I've
'Cause
talked to the
he's-
Kane people about it.
You know, he's not really been all that compliant with having stuff at the post office.
I'm just saying it, yeah, but yeah.
Marcia, I had a question for you. When you go to Highland, the Highland residents, how many are there? I mean, because you go out there and you sell raffle tickets and things like that.
A lot.
Is there, but you know where they're all at?
Yeah, but I'm not sure which ones are registered voters,
Oh,
but I
okay.
do have that list. But I think it's good to let everybody know, as long as it's not cost us money, it's just time. Because everybody's involved in this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I got a registered voter list,
Mm-hmm.
and I pared it down to not James City, all Highland Township, not James City. And I took all the double addresses out, like, husband and wife, I took them out. And I believe there's like a little over 100 different addresses there of registered voters out of James City.
In that registered
Also,
voting
do 5
thing,
mailings with one box.
I've seen people that don't even live in the area anymore on there.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too. But around 100, I mean, if I had to go out and I had the addresses for them, which they're located on the voters form too. I mean, I could hit that up maybe in a day or two.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea, John, because that, only that, then it's personal contact rather
Makes a
than
difference.
something in
Would
the
you
mail.
wanna come
It
out
does.
and, for an hour and do
Yeah.
Russell City?
So we'll have the mailing and everything done by the 21st. We'll get it out on, next time we'll do our PowerPoint presentation and have our mailing ready to approve. Because everybody should get it in 10 days.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
So the next thing on the agenda, we ready for that?
And-
Right. I make a motion to talk about the vacancy.
Okay. Have we heard anything back from our letters of interest?
I spoke to Christy today and she said nothing's no, we have no mail.
Has she did she advertise the request for that?
I saw it in the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also was in the Can Republican, or not the Can Republican, but the Bradford Era, Chuck,
Yeah, I seen
gonna put
that,
that in
that he'd put that in his article.
plus I think somebody had it on Facebook.
Yep, I did.
Right. When we were at the July 2nd at the car show, one person was asking us questions about that, and I don't know if she was interested, but I mean, we could probably talk to her about it because she asked us a bunch of questions. Do you remember who that was, Amy? Or yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mrs. Baum.
Oh.
What's Mrs. Baum's? Phyllis
Phyllis Baum.
was asking. That's,
Yeah.
you were talking to Phyllis Baum and she was asking you.
No, she came to our table and was actually talking with Lori, I believe.
No, that was my aunt, Annie McDowell.
Oh,
Phyllis was the one that was asking why we had a vacancy.
okay.
She thought that it was somebody that just couldn't handle it and threw their arms in and quit.
Right. And we handed out newsletters as well that day, and we handed out maybe 7 or 8 copies of that. So we had some information going out on that July 2nd car show. So.
What happens if we can't fill this vacancy?
We'll be able to fill it.
Okay,
Don't get nervous.
okay,
Yeah, I have every confidence that somebody will step up.
okay. I was just wondering because you know what's gonna happen if we don't.
Yeah. I don't think we need a plan B. I think somebody will step up by then.
We're
Okay.
just trying to get somebody out of James City into that, so we gotta try to get other
Right.
people. And this weekend we.
I'll
can
do it if I
help
have
the
to.
people.
Okay.
Thanks,
Sounds
Lloyd.
good.
Personality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something unique.
Lloyd and George.
I didn't know what a government study commission was at the beginning.
That's what scares a lot of
And that's
people
what a
is
lot
they
of
don't
people
know
are
what it
saying.
is.
It took me like 2 months of studying to understand what it was about. So
Yep.
somebody reading that in the paper, you're not going to come forward and say, "Oh yeah," unless they're really into politics and understand what
Right,
what it
really
means.
knew what it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would be nice from someone from Highland or another one from Russell City.
Don't plan on it.
Okay.
So we already discussed it about the Grant Township Conference on
Yeah,
21st.
a little bit. I would like everybody to have some direction on what they want to talk about. I know we want to talk about the advertising with them. You know, how did they get their word out? How did they deal with a lot of, I think Grant didn't have the problem of people not coming to their meetings. Maybe they did, I'm not sure.
Well, with the Grant Township, the supervisors were already on board. In fact, the chair is a supervisor.
Right.
So, they had a lot of support.
Then maybe they'll be able to drum up some ideas.
Yeah.
on how to get more public input.
That and Helen, see how they started out with trying to get their supervisors involved, even though that she's a supervisor, asking her to see how they got the other ones involved in it.
They were all
Maybe that'll help us
think-
get the ideas to
They were
how to.
all involved in the bill.
They were all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a different situation down there. They were, I guess it would, like to say, they have a more concerned community.
More educated people.
Well, that's a nice-
People who choose to educate themselves instead of spread lies and believe rumors
And intimidate.
and intimidation. If we didn't have those types of people, you know, what's the old saying? Rumors are spread by fools and spread by liars and accepted by fools.
Did you see my post?
No, but I seen it before. That's
A
an
lot
old
of people,
saying.
you know, just around the area, a lot of people just don't seem to care until they're pushed against the wall. And they always think somebody else is gonna do it, so.
And throw their hands up.
And again, that's a good question you should ask them instead of asking us to bring it up in the meeting. It's, you know.
Yeah, because there's also have been a little personal attacks
We expected that.
on on the study commission, all that.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We figured.
Stacy Long told us that was going to happen months
Oh, yeah.
ago.
Yep.
So I guess when that kind of stuff does happen, it wasn't a surprise. It didn't throw me off.
Right.
So we were able to divert the situation pretty easily.
I think the Grant Township supervisors know that they're there for the people, you know, and for the protection of everybody and the health of everybody, so.
But that's, I mean, the whole thing, it's a good point. We have a phone
I
conference.
think we
that's
could
what
ask
needs to
her
go, so
about
what's going on.
Right.
some of their final steps were,
That would be a good question.
you know, towards the end, what they did towards the end.
Okay.
How long are we gonna be on the phone with them?
As long as it takes.
So I'm thinking if they could explain to us like their final steps, you know what I mean, what they did closer to election time and,
How they got it out.
yeah. Just kinda, you know, compare the notes we have now to the notes that they had and what they did and.
Mm-hmm. So think of good questions and, you know, what you're curious about, what we need, that kind of stuff. I know Stacy, I've talked to her on the phone before, and I've been in email conversations with her, and she's very impressive. I really like her, and she's on the ball. She knows what she's doing. So I'm excited about being able to talk to her, and, you know, even the public talk to her, you know, because she's been there, done that, and she's good at what she does.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
So,
The biggest thing is any ideas that they have about getting it out to the public.
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. That I would ask, you know, what their ideas were on that and what they did.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you'll be the one talking to her, so it ain't like the phone conversations we had where everybody was walking on everybody.
We'll try to control it better.
So we'll have to limit that to like a minute per person.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do it on Skype.
A Skyper.
All of us can have our computers in front of us. And can you get like a 7-way going, or?
You get on Skype?
Yeah,
I'm not sure how
You know where
Skype
he's
works,
going with
JP.
me neither.
Somewhere going.
I've seen it on the movies a couple times.
New business.
All right, I'd make
Yeah,
like
let's
the
move on.
make a motion to talk about new business.
I hope I'm in the back.
I don't have any exact new business. I think right now we're just like in that, to me, we're just like in that study phase. You know, getting our study finalized.
We're right on pretty much track.
I was a little
Right
bit
on
fussy, JP, and Chad from SELDEF was the recipient of my fussy email the other day. I was really worried. I was worried that we weren't far enough. I was worried that, we're just going to push this back till April. I was having a panic attack. Chad instantly stops everything as soon as he gets his email and calls me. He's, Misty, you guys are doing fine. He says, matter of fact, our discussions a lot of times impress him. He watches us on YouTube. And so according to Chad, we're right on. We're okay. As long as we keep our momentum going, we'll be all right.
And we're doing it. Need to keep it up.
Talking about Chad, CELDEF, are we going to have them come in at any of the meetings?
I think we
For the
should.
hearings? Or?
I would like Chad or SELDEF representative to be here on the 31st with us.
Okay.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
that's a good idea.
That way, if there is a question that we can't answer, maybe he's available, that way he might be available to answer. Or just there to confirm our answers.
That's a Sunday at 7. Would that be something that we would have to maybe? I know we have to take care of mileage, but would maybe keep them overnight, or would?
That's up to him if he wants to. We didn't discuss a time.
Maybe Sunday it might be better to have it earlier because some people get ready for work.
That's what
and
I was
everything.
thinking, like at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday. That'll give time for Chad to go home and
Yeah,
if he
so I was
wants
thinking
to.
if
And
for the 7, that'd be kind of
I
late.
might
when
not
it's
be here
done.
for that. If you have it, I'm not sure. I don't know
You're
if I
off.
have to work.
you're off.
Am I off?
So 31st at 2. Do you want me to email or you want to email and ask him about that?
I could. Just tell them on the 31st at 2 p.m.
Yep. That's our public hearing. That would be the day we'd like him here. If possible.
We're having a public hearing here at the township then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you have to make arrangements to have it unlocked too, don't forget.
Okay. Make a motion to go over to committee reports, if there's any. Or we kind of
I think
I
we
think
covered
covered most
that.
of it.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
covered
we
our committee
covered
reports.
that.
Public comments?
Good job.
Thanks.
I say call it German so I can mow my grass. That's the only comment I have.
Okay.
You don't want fined.
And we kind of went over all the.
Yeah.
Make a motion about talk about announcements, but we kind of.
Yeah, our announcements, I think the only thing we need to let everybody know is our next meeting date is July 21st.
Right.
And there may be a special meeting between the 18th and the 19th. That will be advertised and I'll also put it on our Facebook page. And our public hearing is on the 31st.
Where's it gonna be, the 21st?
Excuse me?
Is it gonna be the Snow Seekers or here?
Our
Township.
21st meeting will be here
Yeah.
because we're on a conference call with Grant Township on the 21st.
Okay.
And we'll probably run the advertising for the other dates too.
Our
With
August,
that.
You didn't.
our August 18th meeting date at Highland Sportsman's Club has been confirmed
Okay.
by them. So.
And we'll advertise our special meeting when it's confirmed.
Okay. Oh, I didn't ask you, how did the baking thing go? The
The
bake
tax.
sale.
We got 15. No, that was from the dunk. We got $15 from the dunk tank, and I have not gotten a final report on the candy sales.
You would have done better, but the water was cold. Nobody wanted to do it at first, and then we
Yeah.
got somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Tim donated that for us to use.
Thank you.
All right.
So
Any more comments? Public comments?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Yep. Make a
I'll
motion.
second that motion.